Okay, great. Okay, so hello and welcome to everyone here. This is the Story of Plastic film screening and panel discussion. I ask that everyone keep off their cameras and mute themselves while we're doing this presentation. I'm Annie Deely. I am the community organizer for Protect PT, and Protect PT sits on traditional Osage land. So for today, excuse me, our agenda for today is I'm going to give a short introduction on Protect PT and our work. Then we'll start the Story of Plastic screening. There will be an intermission, and the panel discussion will start at 1 p.m. Then if you can stick around for a couple of minutes, we'll have a short update from Safety 7 Citizens Legal Action. They organize against the Mariner East pipelines in Pennsylvania, which will actually be talked about in the film. So Protect PT is a nonprofit organization dedicated to ensuring resident safety, security, and quality of life by engaging in education and advocacy to protect the economic, environmental, and legal rights of the people in Westmoreland and Allegheny counties. Since starting as a group of neighbors working together to protect their neighborhood in Penn Township and Trafford from fracking in 2014, Protect PT has grown to be a community-based organization with lots of staff, volunteers, and members. Now I'm going to go over some of the work that we do as Protect PT. But it's important to understand that we work in two spheres, right? So one is Protect PT and one is Promote PT. I use these two terms interchangeably because we are the same organization. Protect PT deals with environmental advocacy around unconventional natural gas drilling or fracking. And Promote PT is about building what is next once health, environment, and safety risks are dealt with. This sphere works towards a sustainable, regenerative, and communal future. And the plastics issues fall within the overlap between these two spheres of our organization with its connection to fossil fuels, and also in the understanding that development in plastic alternatives and investment in plastic alternatives can build a more sustainable future. So we have lots of initiatives that we work on. The first being Beaver Run Reservoir. It provides drinking water for 150,000 people. And the initiative we worked with is in response to flaring around the reservoir despite environmental and health impacts. Flaring that occurred in January of 2019 caused severe air and water pollution from over 2 weeks of 24/7 flaring at these well pads. And you can see this is a huge concern with how close the well pad is to the water. You can see in this photo, and that's drinking water. Authorities claim there's no environmental impact, but testing near the flares showed carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, and sulfur dioxide, all toxic chemicals that should not be put into our air or water. Another initiative that we work on is to mitigate oil and gas waste. Fracking creates a lot of waste. Westmoreland Sanitary Landfill is accepting fracking waste being dumped into their landfill, which creates leachates, and that can contaminate the water and air with radioactive material. PPT sent out a survey to households neighboring the landfill to collect data to present to the DEP and also to mobilize residents. Through this survey, we found that many families' quality of life is affected from increased traffic, unavoidable smell, and health concerns from fracking waste being dumped into this landfill. The Plum injection well is a well that's proposed to be in Plum that will accept fracking waste being dumped deep into the ground. We're organizing to put a stop to the Plum waste disposal well because of its structural inadequacies. It was never really meant to be a disposal well, plus its connection to radioactive contamination and cancer. The Halt Mariner Now campaign is a statewide movement calling on Governor Wolf to halt operation and construction of all Mariner pipelines until safety risks are properly mitigated. Again, the Mariner pipelines will be mentioned in the film, and we'll have an update from Safety 7, Nancy Hertkins, who's going to be talking about this pipeline a little bit more. Protect PT also engages in legal advocacy. All of our legal advocacy starts at the local level through participation at local hearings. One example of legal advocacy that is going to take place later this year is Protect PT will have oral argument before the PA Supreme Court in regards to the Metis and Deia well pads that are proposed to be in Penn Township in Westmoreland County. These well pads will be the 10th and 11th well pads to be permitted in Penn Township if they're created. Okay, so on the other side of our programming, we have Promote PT, excuse me. And one of our Promote PT programs is Team Building for Climate Action, which actually starts on Monday. So if you know any youth that would want to be involved in this program, it's a youth program that aims to amplify voices of youth and provide support and training to affect change. Groups of 3rd to 8th graders will be teamed up with high schoolers to develop comprehensive plans with achievable steps for environment-related projects. There's prize incentives at measurable milestones and lots of opportunity for youth to hone leadership, communication, and organizing skills. And again, we're starting this program on Monday. So if you know any youth that would want to be involved, please send them their way. Okay, Reimagine Turtle Creek. Is actually the initiative at Protect PT that I work most closely with. It is a multi-organizational initiative for sustainable community and economic development. We host programs every first Monday to educate community and organize current projects which address key issues identified by participants in the Turtle Creek watershed. Examples of these projects include a backyard gardening program to provide healthy organic produce to low-income families, and a podcast on regenerative health and wellness. Our next program is March 1st, and everyone is welcome to come. We're going to be talking about how to compost in your backyard at home. Lastly, Protect PT regularly hosts workshops, trainings, and programs for community education on environmental advocacy, mobilization, and sustainability. If you're interested in any of the things I just talked about, please learn more at protectpt.org. You can volunteer, there's letters to sign. You can also donate monthly to become a member. This is our staff. We're a small but mighty team. And I heard Annie Dealey is actually a really great person to reach out to from the grapevine. So you can also support us by buying our merchandise. I peppered some of these illustrations that show the artistic renderings of the work that we do. They make great gifts and they directly support our work. So now, the story of plastic. We're so excited to be able to show this very informative documentary to everyone. I thank everyone who joined and asked really thoughtful questions in the registration. Our panel starts at 1 p.m. So we have Stiv Wilson, who is the executive producer of the film, Dr. Patty Demarco, who is on Forest Hills Borough Council, is a Chatham professor, and is a regional plastics diversion advocate, and Anaïs Peterson, who works for Earthworks and has done lots of work in trying to fight the petrochemical build out in our tri-state area here in southwestern PA. So don't forget to join our panel at 1 p.m. and let's start the film. But I want to say to the folks who are joining us right now on Zoom, we will be streaming this film on YouTube Live. So this is the link to join and watch the movie with us. But I'll see everyone back here at 1 p.m.
A scene that has long since ceased causing any surprise. The women folk washing dishes made of plastic, dishes that bounce when they drop to the floor. Hard to realize it, but it was only 10 years ago that the first pound of polyesterine plastic was sold.
And the chemical age is just dawning. These few things, my friends, are only a hint of what American industry holds in the future. Yes, Mylar's properties are right in its molecules, and with them are coming new and better things for us all.
Today will be a better day for a lot of people, simply because of a material we call plastic.
This industry is well positioned to build on our accomplishments, to shape a sustainable and prosperous future. In summary, we believe the best is yet to come.
I think, like many people, I had noticed a real surge of attention and interest in the issue of plastic pollution. This article came about from conversations with activists who are working on plastics issues. Oftentimes what I do is ask people that are close to an issue how they feel about the media coverage. And one thing I was consistently hearing was that there was a gap in coverage when it came to the front end of the story. So there was a ton of attention around the final stage of the plastic's life cycle when it actually becomes pollution. But not as many people were telling the story about where plastic comes from.
You can never solve the plastic waste crisis just by dealing with it as a waste issue. Who is making the plastics in the first place and why?
The history of plastics began over 30 million years ago, when intense heat, natural chemical changes, and tremendous pressures created by the shifting of the Earth's crust formed the substance needed to make plastic, petroleum.
99% of what goes into plastics is fossil fuels. And so, unsurprisingly, the same companies that make plastics are also the companies that sell us fossil fuels. Exxon, Chevron, ConocoPhillips, Shell, and Dow DuPont, which in addition to being a major chemicals company, is also a major player in oil and gas. Plastics were initially a waste product. The company could either pay to dispose of the leftovers responsibly, or it could turn them into a new product.
Oil companies compete with each other in taking the petroleum molecule apart and rearranging it into, well, you name it, fabrics, toothbrushes, tires, insecticides, cosmetics, weed killers, a whole galaxy of things to make a better life on Earth.
Just as there are many kinds of woods and metals, so there are many kinds of plastics. This is plexiglass tube, one of the most fascinating and beautiful of the new plastic materials created by chemical science, ready to bring new beauty and comfort to your home and add charm to your peacetime living.
Plastic is a miracle material. When it was created, it was hailed as the biggest invention of the time. It's extremely durable. It lasts very, very long. And so the reality is that because plastic has all these good qualities, it's extremely bad for the environment. I was a corporate lawyer for 6 years, and then I decided to leave it to work on something that I actually cared about and where I actually had a personal stake in the outcome. 15 years ago, I could still go to a pristine beach and collect seashells. And it makes me sad to think that some of the children born today, and even my own daughter, won't have the memory of a cleaner world. I just want her to be aware of why her world is the way it is, and that it could be better. I feel like I don't know how to answer anymore when people say, why are you focusing on plastic? Why is plastic a problem? I mean, I feel like I should just take them here and not say anything, just take them here and then see what they think, whether they think plastic bags are not a problem anymore. I can still remember a time when I was still a teenager and this wasn't a problem. So we're not talking about decades. We're talking about maybe 10 to 15 years of this. Kind of lifestyle.
Hello, everyone. So YouTube has actually stopped our stream. So are there people over here? I'm going to let people in right now. Great. I see people coming in. So I'm going to give it a minute just to make sure everyone's over to this side, and I'm going to go ahead and then screen the movie again. We opted to not do it this way because So we opted to not screen it this way initially because it would be better, you'd hear it better over on YouTube. But unfortunately, YouTube has left us, not allowed us to stream it again. So we will go ahead and stream it. I'm going to start it over again. I'm going to start it right where it stopped.
I should just take them here and not say anything, just take